Good afternoon. Many thanks for being with us. The program is Viewpoint. It's a current news and current affairs program. It's also going to be interactive, so I'm expecting all of you out there to listen and then call in and we can take your questions. Today in the studio, we have the pleasure of having the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Public Enlightenment in the studio with us, Mr. Sidon Adinuba. Many thanks for being with us today.
It's my pleasure.
Great. Today we'll talk about something that has been trending, which is this Ohaneze story. The story just won't go away. But we'll start by giving our listeners and our viewers like a recap of events that has led up to this position. President Muhammadu Buhari was in Anambra last week Friday. He came to commission the Zik Mausoleum. That same day, the IMOB of Ohaneze also had a meeting in Enugu State. Shortly after that, I think later on Wednesday evening, the Secretary to the State Government called a press conference and stated that the meeting held earlier than expected, and as such, there wasn't any representation from Anambra State during that meeting. Still along the line, on Saturday, 26th of January, Anambra State Government also held a press conference. So basically, in summary, I'm going to ask, what's going on with this Ohaneze issue and story?
Well, thank you very much. We do not want to pretend about it. We do have a grouse with some prominent officers of the Ohaneze And Endorsement organization. Our grouse is principally their blood refusal to accord the great Zik of Africa the recognition the great man deserves. Zik remains to this day not only the most important Igbo man in history, but the most important West African. Zik has no comparison in of West Africa up to this moment. Only people like Mandela could compare with him.
So why do you
and this man was being honored.
Yes.
Imobi decided. Ohaneze leaders decided to have the Imobi meeting. The governor of Ebonyi State, who is also the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, requested that this meeting be postponed by at least one day so that we could receive the president who was coming to honor one of our own, the greatest. And understand the reason for the request. Who are the members of IMOB? The statutory members of IMOB are governors serving an ex
of the southeastern states.
Of the south, no, the Igbo.
Okay.
The Igbo speaking world, up to Delta and Rivers.
Okay.
Ministers of Igbo region. And naturally, anytime the president is coming to a place, governors of that zone receive him and even stay with him, regardless of their political affiliation.
Absolutely.
And of course, ministers from that area. So as the president was coming, governors and ministers who are statutory members of the IMOB had to stay with the president. So the President General of Ohaneze said, okay, we postpone to 4 p.m. this Sunday. He was told, no. By 4, the president will still be around. He will leave at 6 p.m. He now announced publicly, and it's all over the media, that he will leave at 7. And the meeting will now hold at 7. By 6:20, the Anambra delegation was there. And I was a member of that delegation, led by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solo Osita Chukwulobelo. Behold, the meeting had been held.
Long before 7 o'clock.
By 6 that had been held. The deputy governor of Ebonyi State, who led the Ebonyi delegation, was even ahead of us. The Minister of Science and Tech, Dr. Bonayano, who was even governor of Abia State. The meeting had been held. So we look for these people to meet them in the hotel. That even left maybe a more appropriate way to say that had even disappeared. No trace. We believe they acted in bad faith. Our position is very simple. If there is a person, if there is any official of Ohaneze who most disrespects the memory of the great Zik of Africa, it should not be somebody from Nsukka, let alone from the Nwodo family. And I'll tell you what.
Okay.
The father of Chief Nwodo, the President General of Ohaneze, was a minister under Zik in eastern Nigeria. He became the first Nsukka person to be a minister. That's a rare privilege. So we are afraid that the President General did not behave like somebody who understands what gratitude.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. That despite the fact that he's heading the
behave like somebody without a sense of history. May I reveal to you also that in the history of Ohaneze, there has been only one patron. That patron is the great Zik of Africa. So the Ohaneze leadership could not even defer to the memory of the only patron
that they have. Okay.
And let me tell you something. John Nwodo should have had a greater sense of commitment to the success of the immortalization of the great Zik of Africa more than most of us. Not just because his father was a minister. Zik cited the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, where John Nwodo comes from. By the time Zik located this university there, nobody was expecting him to do so because Nsukka had practically nothing, no amenities. And to let you know Zik's love for Nsukka and his people. From 1970, when the Civil War ended, Zik relocated to Nsukka, lived in Nsukka until 1996 when he died at the age of 92. I'm asking you, is this a fair way to treat somebody like that who has so much affection for the Nwodo family, for the Nsukka people? Somebody had lived with them in their midst for decades and practically died there.
Okay, the next question I want to ask you is this. This Ohaneze issue with the Anambra state government started when the President General of Ohaneze had made a comment, a newspaper attribution that the Governor Willie Obiano, had called him an idiot over the endorsement of the People's Democratic Party during that meeting that other people didn't have proper representation.
Well,
what's the real story?
Neither you nor I was there. They did have a telephone conversation. I spoke to the governor. The governor told me that he was disappointed in the PG of Ohaneze, and he told him so. And they enumerated to him why he of all persons, for that he should have led
the delegation.
No, he should have led the immortalization.
That's what I'm saying.
He was invited early enough.
Yes.
They should have participated very actively. Not just being there. Not only as President General of Ohaneze, in memory of a former patron of Ohaneze, be given the relationship at the personal level between your family and the great Zik of Africa. I consider the fact that you are from Nsukka. So that's what transpired between them. And let me leave it like that. I think I've answered your question.
Ohaneze is the apex Igbo socio-cultural organization, and it represents a lot of Igbos, whether here or in diaspora. Should they be politically endorsing any candidate, irrespective of the party, on behalf of Igbo people? And what is Anambra state government's stand on that endorsement?
Well, this is the second point where we were not happy. But actually the third point where we were not happy with what Ohaneze did. Okay. The first one was insisting on having a meeting of Imobi on a day Zik was being honored by the whole nation.
Yeah.
2, did not want, for us, it's an act of sabotage because the ministers and governors
who are representatives of them couldn't be at both places at the same time. Yeah.
3, they deliberately shifted the meeting without telling us, and no apologies and no explanation up to this moment. In my humble opinion, they acted absolutely in bad faith, and they know it. But coming to the question of endorsement, which is not really so important to us, we were mandated by the people and government of Anambra State to go there and explain to the other people the risks, high risks, inherent in endorsing a particular candidate or political party. We have endorsed in the past, and the consequences were grave.
To
Ndibo. And I'll give you instances.
Please.
And we said you must learn from history. You must learn from our mistakes. There is a simple definition of lunacy by Albert Einstein,
which is doing
something wrong repeatedly,
doing it over and over again and expecting a different result.
That's madness. So we'll be doing this. For example, in 1999, Ohaneze endorsed Chief Olufalaye. Chief Olufalaye lost the election. Obasanjo won. Not just that Obasanjo won. Obasanjo spent 4 years fighting Dr. Alex Ekwueme because Obasanjo was told that it was Ekwueme who lost to him at the PDP primaries in Jos that used his friend, Professor Ben Nwabeza, the constitutional lawyer, to stop him from winning the presidency by mobilizing Igbo people against him. That's not the truth. That's the cause of endorsement. I'll give you another example. 2015, we endorsed Jonathan, mobilized forces and resources in his favor. And even in the process, some of our Igbo leaders tended to demonize his major rival, who eventually won. Today, all of us are living with the consequences. So we said, please, in our own interests, do not endorse anybody. It is not strategically advisable. That position we wanted to canvass, but we had denied the opportunity. We are still canvassing. It makes plenty of sense. But what I have discovered is that some people have, in one way or another, compromised themselves.
Okay, and you think this is detrimental to the Igbo nation?
History has shown it doesn't make sense. In any case, you have leading Igbo people in different political parties.
Okay.
If you were canceling Mwagalo, how would you feel?
Because they're not endorsing him as an Igbo person.
And the Kingsley has actually made a statement to that effect. Looking at his own qualifications, his determination and commitment. How on earth could Ohaneze leaders justify choosing some other candidate over him as an Igbo person? So even himself, is he no longer Igbo? You know that the first child of Dr. Alex Ekwueme, the venerable former vice president of Nigeria, ran against our governor in her capacity as the deputy governorship candidate
of the PDP. Yes.
In the election that took place on November 17th, 2017. 2 days after the election, her great father, Dr. Ekwueme, died. Ekwueme was in the PDP, the daughter in the PDP. 2 days after a major fight. But what happened? It was Obiano who led the state burial, state funeral that lasted for 1 week for Dr. Ekwueme.
Irrespective of their political
He
differences.
did not show any grudge, no bitterness, no acrimony. So if actually there is a place you want to start as a perfect example of politics without bitterness, it is in Anambra State.
Social harmony.
And today, look at the benefits. Investments are coming in their billions of dollars, not naira. People of Anambra State are getting employed. We now have Anambra rice. Did anybody hear of Anambra rice 5 years ago? 5 years ago, Anambra was producing only 80 metric tons of rice. Today, we are doing 340 metric tons per annum. And I have more information for you and even for the whole nation. Anambra has done so well in various areas, including agriculture, that today we are assisting other states like Kebbi and Lagos states.
In supplying rice?
Oh, yes. Let me tell you this. You may not even know this. My family still lives in Lagos, and I go to Lagos frequently. When I go to Lagos, I see my people in Lagos proudly telling me of Lake rice. Lake, L-A-K-E, is the product of a joint venture between the Lagos state government and the Kebbi state government.
Okay.
So you have Lake rice, which is very popular in Lagos because it compares favorably with foreign rice. What most Nigerians don't even know is that the popular Lake rice in Lagos and Kebbi is milled in Anambra State. It is milled in Amici. So we are the people assisting
Lagos State and Kebbi.
And other states in addition. So this is what is, because Obiado has a policy of accommodation, of what we call, what he himself calls constructive engagement, not confrontation.
We'll start on that, yes, and then we'll open the phone lines.
Yeah.
We've been talking to the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Public Enlightenment. The program is Viewpoint, and we've been talking about the issue of the Ohaneze, Anambra State's perspective of it, and then, of course, Ohaneze's perspective. Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Uchenna.
Okay.
I'm calling from Obeleghe.
Okay, Mr. Uchenna, so what would you like to contribute to the program?
I want to thank our Honorable Commissioner for Information. What is the aim of the field?
Thank you.
I want to say that what Ohaneze is would have been better explained, and people will have understanding. I think they did something right at the wrong time. My intent is that, even if permitted to speak in Igbo.
Yes, please, go ahead. Swan as swine.
Already Bokambo.
Okay, thank you. Asena Ofuchi. N'ụlọ karịrị asatọ dị n'ọbịa achịchara echicha. Anyị na-eleta anya bụ na ihe Ohaneze na-achọ ịkọwa abụ nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Peter Obi nọ near to grabbing the gold, and opportunity ahụ kakwa achọrọ ka emisi ya because anyị mmadụ niile na-esi mkpu ya bụ Igbo presidency. And then on the other side, Apuga as a party, they are in Apuga. We are like in a lot of things, evidence of democracy. I think for that young people, we're going to care. So now, I cannot afford to hear the Chinese woman. Now, if I have to recall where all these representatives and houses here are the warrior of Apuga, manager a presidency. Mother, nwanne anyị nwoke n'ihi na site niile adịcha anyị mkpa ọ ga-abụ ọkwasị ụmụ ya bụrụ na ha kpara mgbọrọgwụ na adị ama ma onye nwechi burukwa ji ka ha biri na mgbọrọgwụ so that na Peter gavada presidency onye bụrụ na enwetaghọzi ya anyị ejidekwa ọpụga anyị na ma ịkpụghapụ ọpụga wee gbagaba na PDP ka anyị amaghọ ihe ọ ga-abụ. Onye kwuru okwu ụnyaahụ na-ekwukwa na-akọwazi na ka anyị soro ọpụga were gaba wee ruo na that presidency nke na-atụ m egwu maka anya ma ọpụga nwere nke ọ ga-eto ruo apụnarị ya ndị Igbo maka na PDP ama na-ekwu eme na parties of them.
You have to wrap it up now so we can take up more calls.
ọpụga nwere ike ananarị ya ya so ka anyị togodị nke ya Peter Obi ruo ka ya bụ onye isi ọzọ ọta dịsị nke anyị jide nke a jide ọzọ so ihe m na-achọ ka
Okay then.
ka
Okay, thank you so much for calling, Dalo. We'll take another call before you comment on that. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, madam. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Ada from North.
Ada, thanks for calling us. So what would you like to contribute? Okay.
Mgbe ọbụla na achọta okwu na ụka na Anambra steeti sirapụta n'anya aka na iji oke ebe anyị nọ onye ọmanụ onye bụ ọchọ isi votu ya ji esụa nwantị na mma bụ na apụga nwee presidential candidate anya ka anyị atụnyelụ owu na ohu mmiri Igbo manụ na anyị nwe okwu ọnụ na Naijiria biko na ọnya dị ife nchọ itinye sirapụla anyị that man chọrọ nsogbu onye udo ọkanya na prezidenti kpọtụba sebe okwu site n'ime ebute na Anambra steeti aka ebutie ama ife ndị Igbo na-eme biko
Dalu Ada. Thank you very much. Dalu O, thanks for calling. Okay, before the calls come in, there's I don't know whether it's a misconception or an idea that people feel that the Igbos in the Igbo we're not speaking with one voice, whether we're endorsing what Ohaneze has done or we're not. What do you think? What's your response to that?
Kankawakwa biko. If I na-ekwu if I do bido. Ife bụ anyị bụ na ndị na-achọ ka kpalie Zik ka ewetu Zik n'ebe o kwesịrị ịnọ. Ya kacha ewute anyị na-ekwesịrị ime ife a ka jide aka. Ife emere Zik na ọ dịrị ọma sị emezikwere ndị mmeli anụ fabia kpọọ ndị Naijiria ọkachasị ndị Igbo your sorry na metara ya. Kezi nke gbasa alụbokwe Bozolomia 23 years. Ọ bụ nke akpọkwu Jonathan na-azakwa afọ ya Zikiwe ka ọ bụkwa prezident ọlọkwa ife a kọrọpịa afịfịa bilie Obasanjo ma mere ya onwe onye ọzọ Abdulsalam emere ya mmadụ bezi wee lụọla anya onye Chukwu daalụ ka alụ Bozolomia ọ dịzenụ maka ije na Tanzania falụ nke fafọ Nyerere ije na Ghana alụ fafọ Kwame Nkrumah ndị a ndị Zik zụ ije na Angola agosina Luther alụlụ nke ije na America Martin Luther nwere nke asị na ndị Naijiria nwere dịka ndị na-akpa afa bụzụ ka alụọla ya nke obodo mbata a na-eme ihe ka ndị be anyị sị na ama egwu na-emebie gịnị gụrụ bụ n'obi ọ bụrụ na ọ bụ onye Yoruba maọbụ onye Hausa ma onye na-abụrụ onye Igbo jembọsị ya ndị a na-eme ya Zik ife ndị manya kere ikwe maka onye Igbo ka eji mee anya n'ife abụ sabotage against Igbo interest ma ụnụ mezi anya sị ụnụ kụrụ aka ndị bụ ya n'isi ọ bụrụ ndị Zik ime nnafa minista bụ ndị Zik ije lụọ ọrụ University of Nigeria bụ onye si ebe Zik ije wee bigide wee nwụrụ alụ sacrilege ma ndị ọcha ka ndị a mee karị alụ adịghị eme ya mkpuchi si emeziri ife dị otu a maka nkọkwalụ gị ka onye bụ dị Zik ya ife aka ajụ dị maka Zik abụrụ ọsọsọ na onye Igbo ndị na-amara ka famara onye ọ bụ biko ka akọwaba Zik bụ
Zik to the Igbo nation, who is
not
Zik
just Igbo,
to Nigeria,
to the whole world.
who is Zik
I
to
will
the whole
explain.
world.
I can talk about Zik.
Yes, please
for
do.
the next 50 years with their
Just do it in like 5 minutes.
Okay. Let me tell you where I'm coming from.
Yes.
I have only one son, and his name is Zik of Africa. So I'm a Zikist, a great believer in Zik, anytime, any day. Okay? Anybody who insults the memory of Zik has challenged me.
So what's this memory, especially to the younger generation?
Zik was the person who practically brought independence to Nigeria, brought liberation to Nigeria, brought freedom to Nigeria. Zik is the only person in Nigerian history to have his name written in the Constitution. In the 1963 Constitution, it's written that the president of this country would be Dr. Anambra, the great Zik of Africa. It was Zik who discovered a brilliant young man in Ghana called Kwame Nkrumah, brought him up, told him about nationalism, about Pan-Africanism, sent Kwame Nkrumah to the US to study. Kwame Nkrumah came back and became a hero. Mm-hmm. It was Zik who came back and realized Igbo people were not going to universities, and took 9 brilliant Igbo men, and I'll give you their names: Dr. K. Ombadiwe, Dr. Abyssinia Nweke Nwaforizu from Nnewi, K. Ombadiwe from Arondizo, Mbono Ojike, also from Arondizo, Professor J.B.C. Okala from Onitsha, Dr. Ofunodum Okongwu from Nnewi, the uncle of Dr. Chuokogwu, former Minister of Finance, Dr. Kechukwu Ikejian from Agukundri, who is reputed to be the first West African medical scientist, Professor Chukwuemeka from Agwata, who died a few weeks after Zik died and became the first West African to become a professor of civil engineering. Zik sent these people to the university, and they came back and joined in the nationalist struggle, making it possible for Nigeria to become independent within a very short period. That is why today, if you go to the United States, the majority of the Nigerian people living in America are of Igbo origin, unlike in the US.
So Zik created that foundation for the migration.
Okay? Not only that, Igbo people are the only people in history who, between 1945, when the Second World War ended, in 1965-66, when the First Republic came to an end, within just 20 years, no other people in history have this record except the Igbo people. They were able, I'm explaining something to you.
Okay, good. I wanted us to get more.
In the trouble with Nigeria, I'm putting a Chinua Achebe. Mm-hmm. He said Igbo people were able to wipe out the educational handicap in one fantastic burst of energy, unquote. What Achebe is saying here is that the Yoruba people were far ahead, almost by 100 years.
In terms of Igbo education?
People. Yes, okay. Because the white man came to Nigeria through the sea. Mm-hmm. Igbo land is in the hinterland. Mm-hmm. In the interior, Yoruba land is on the coast.
So they have the advantage of education.
Yes. But within 20 years, Igbo people met up with them. And were even challenging them, beating them.
And we can attribute this to Zik.
Who else? I'm just giving you one example of what he did. Can give you other examples. Igbo people were not into journalism. Zik came, brought primary school teachers, some of them with primary 6, taught them how to write. Some of them became intellectuals. He established the West African Pilot, the biggest, no newspaper in Nigeria's history can compare with West African Pilot up to this day. Established a newspaper, Nigerian spokesman in Onitsha, Guardian in Port Harcourt, Comet in Zaria, the other one in Kano. Everywhere, Zik was all over. Igbo people all over the place. Gave Igbo people confidence. Encouraged Igbo people to start building secondary schools, communities. Zik was an anthropologist, so he recognized that Igbo progress has always depended on competition, healthy competition. If community A does this,
then community
A. So they began to compete with schools, especially secondary schools. Even before secondary schools, with award of scholarships, as they call them. If you read No Longer at Ease, you know the story of Obio Konkwo, who was able to travel abroad because his kinsmen contributed money, so they will have a graduate in their midst.
Community, yeah.
That's what Zik taught our people through the Igbo State Union. So as if Ihiala got a secondary school or a graduate, the neighboring communities of Uli
will gather around and ensure that they get a graduate. Okay.
Igbo progress is all about healthy competition. This was Zik did for us. Okay. Now beyond that, I'll give you some examples. As premier of the Eastern region. Zik built the first cement company in West Africa called Niger Sen at Kalago in today's Ebonyi State. Zik built the first steel company in West Africa, Niger Steel, Emene. Zik built the first gas company in West Africa called Niger Gas, Emene. Zik built the first industrial estate called Emene, and then later Transamadi. Zik built the first indigenous university in Nigeria called University of Nigeria. Zik built the first bank, first indigenous bank in West Africa called African Continental Bank. As a result of what they did for us, by the 1960s, the Eastern Nigerian economy became the fastest growing economy in the whole world. That's where we're going.
You really are a Zikist. I'm like,
okay.
I'm in a history class, and I'm like, oh, some of this information, I didn't even know.
I'm not even starting.
Majority of all this information about Zik. We know the conventional one. He was the the president at one point.
You know what? Zik was able to perform all this magic. When Eastern Nigeria's economy, Nigeria's revenue or budget was very, very little. The richest region was the Western region because they were exporting cocoa. Cocoa was then commanding high prices on the international market, followed by the Northern region, which was exporting granite, and granite was commanding good prices. Palm produce, which was our own export, was attracting very, very low prices. So our budget in this region was a quarter of the budget of the Western region. And yet, Zik was ahead. Our economy was ahead of their own. Whatever we did, they will ape. They will follow. Zik built African Continental Bank. Awolowo responded by building National Bank.
I want to here.
Bank of the North came again. Yes. So we are taking the initiatives. Then we are responding to us.
Let's pause.
That's what a brilliant man was.
We want to hear what other people have to say about Zik. Maybe most probably we'll have a caller who's as passionate too about Zik as you are. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry, come again. What's your name? Yes, I know. Go ahead. Afia Bisido Nadinuba, Honorable Commissioner, Information and Public Enlightenment.
Politics ka nọ onye ọbụla na-etinye aka na-ekwe oge tu wee kpara ya. Ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya n'eziokwu ihe niile a ekirụrụ ya mana ọzọ prezident under NPP ga-edetụrụ ya akwụkwọ. Ọ bụrụ na ị bịa arụrụ ebe nlegharị anya na Zungeru n'Abazi. Ihe prezidenti bịara ime na-ebukwa ụfọdụ mkpebi anyị ga-eweta. Ọ nnukwu uru ka ọ bụrụ ndị Igbo ma ọ bụrụ na Peter Obi batara as vice president. Second Niger speech ekpere garị arụghị ya. Peter Obi ike ala nke a na-abata ekwere mkpa arụọ ihe. Ọ bụrụ na Obi bata ebe a bịa arịa anyị abụ ihe anyị na-ekwu kwuo onye anyị na-agwa Igbo nnọkọ ndị Igbo mere ataghọtara ya n'ọjọka ataghọtara ya n'ọmaka n'ọkpụkpọ ka a na-agba ụlọ na onwe ụlọ bụkwa mbọ ụlọ na-agba oge etu wee dị mma ekelekwa m ụlọ.
Daalụ nna.
Biko nwanne m nwoke ka m kwuo nke a.
I want the line free. Okay, so you can listen to you.
Nwanne m nwoke biko ekwu nke bụ eziokwu mkpa anyị abụọ onye azọ president or not. Here I go, don't endorse any person. When you do, there are serious consequences when your candidate loses. I live in Lagos. I know what Igbo people have gone through in Lagos because they endorsed the wrong candidate in the last election. The outgoing governor of Lagos State, he has a long memory of hate. He came after our people. And I was advising the Igbo people in Lagos, don't endorse any person. Don't. So it is extremely erroneous to endorse. That's number one.
So what you're saying is, as a group, people should endorse.
I want us to face facts. Some of us may not be satisfied with Buhari's record as head of president, especially his attitude towards the appointment of Igbo people,
the 5%
positions.
That
okay,
Igbos complain
but
about.
to deny that he's not building the second Niger bridge is unfair. I have a conscience. When you see the truth, you don't want to tell it because of the person involved. He's done so well with the building or commissioning of the Zigma Salon. He has done very, very well with the second Niger bridge. And I know as so long as Babatunde Fashola is the minister, he will take it seriously. Fashola, by the way, like me, is a Zikist to the core.
Okay, let's take more calls.
So,
we're almost running out of time, so I want to hear more people. We'll close the phone lines.
People, at best, we are supporting General Bo, the Anambra presidential candidate. We expect him to win, but this is an election anybody can win. And let me even tell our people, I think we seem to have exaggerated notions about the role of the vice president. I would like a VP who is very strong. I would like an Igbo man to be, if possible, not only VP, but even
also president. Yeah.
But the VP is what our former governor Ezefe has called a spare tire. You are not in charge.
So are you saying that Igbo people are giving more powers to that position of the VP than you actually do have? And maybe that's why some of the sentiments they're having with Ohaneze endorsing that party.
I've said it. I've said a number of us are not happy with the president. And I will not deny that don't have the legislative. They have. I've also expressed my reservations about one or two the president has done. At the same time, I cannot deny that for once we have seen work on federal projects in Anambra State.
The mausoleum and then the second bridge.
The roads are going on very well. When Jonathan himself called himself Azikiwe, was there for 6 years, we have no value. The Onitsha Enugu Highway was overgrown, not only with weeds, even trees. We should not deny these facts. He did absolutely nothing on the second Niger bridge. In fact, in September 2012, Jonathan came to Onitsha and announced that if by 2013 he did not complete the second Niger bridge, he would go into exile. He did nothing, he did not go into exile. Rather, 2 days to his coming to campaign, his people got pictures of completed bridges elsewhere and put on the net saying second Niger bridge completed by Jonathan. I can show you the pictures. That is the extent some people can go to defraud their own people in the name of politics. This is not my understanding of politics. And I can tell you with certainty that this is not Governor Obiano's understanding of politics. Politics is not about deception. It is not about creating enmity for your people. No. It should be an avenue for serving your people. Be friends. Make the environment peaceful. I will tell you this.
We'll ask the last question because we're running out of time. How do we end this Ohaneze and Anambra State government issue?
The truth is that Obiano is far more strategic, far more sighted than some people who call themselves Ohaneze leaders. If I tell you what I know about some of these people, you not even shake hands with them. Are they really working for Igbo people or for themselves? But that's a question for another day. Please, there is something the whole nation must go away with. Giving Governor Obiano's leadership style, the policy of leave and let live. Ewe Bello, Ugo Bello is behaving in Anambra. If Obiano had got to confront Buhari at what I'm expecting to do, one, Anambra would have been safer states. We are safe today because we are using the police and Navy and Air Force and the National Security and Defense Corps, all federal agencies controlled by Buhari, to make ourselves peaceful. Consequently, we have enormous investments.
Our take home is that the governor is trying to ensure he's being apolitical about certain things and just being realistic, and that's what people should be, and forget all the fanfare they said they didn't say, right? Many thanks for being with us. And then my name is Ifunanya Amafili. Join us next week.